Oh, with it,
B.Y.O.B,
fam. B.Y.O.B, bring
We
your
back
own
at it again.
Bible. We here live, lit, and local. We here.
Come on.
B.Y.O.B, we believe the Bible is basic instructions before leaving earth. The Bible is a book of prophecies, promises, precepts, and principles that we must live our life by. We believe that. We stand on that 10 toes deep. Thank you for tuning in, partnering with us what it is that we're doing. Focus on the word of God, taking you through the scriptures, showing you the word view as it relates to practical things in our life.
Spiritual and practical being married together. Guys, again, welcome. This is another week, another episode. If you have not already, I want y'all to get in the habit. Go ahead and like this video, share this video, help us to get the word out so that lives can be transformed. We want to walk this life journey, find our purpose or fulfill our purpose together. And it is definitely going to take a community and a tribe. With that being said, since we have been back in action, we have been focused on our purpose-driven life. We know that we were created for purpose. We were created in purpose. And it's just a matter of us determining or finding out what our purpose is. We've gone through all 41 chapters, not individually, but we were able to group them into 5 domains. This week, we are talking about the grind and the grace. What does that have to do with our purpose? Sometimes we tap into our purpose and you feel like, dang, I'm trying to catch up. I should have been doing this. If I would have known now what I knew, or if I would have known then what I know now, man. So you always feel like you're trying to play catch up. So you find yourself just in the hustle and bustle of life. And with that, we get caught up in it and we never take a moment to pause, to reset. Then we get burned out. We get, what do you call it? Compassion fatigue. Like all of these things start coming at us. We start feeling it in our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. So now that we know how to disciple, we know what evangelism is, we know what our purpose is, and we're going forth in that, we also want to tackle the grind and the grace that comes with it. Because it's going to take work, but we don't want to get so caught up that we forget to take a moment for self-reflection, that we forget to take a moment to find our inner peace, that we forget to take a moment and connect with our creator, that we forget to take a moment and just relax in his presence, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about for the rest of this month, the importance of the grind and the grace. I think it was Prophet Nipsey Hussle said, I've been grinding all my life. So let's talk about what the grind, what the grind is. You know, that was in my spirit early this morning because I was like, who's saying that? So for those who may not get it or don't understand the grind, obviously I think we all understand that the grind is that hustle. It's the hard work, the dedication, the perseverance in trying to reach our goals, whether it's at work or trying to help somebody or whatever makes us get up and go to work. That's what the grind is. But what is the grace and why are we bringing the two together? The grace, obviously, is God's unearned favor.
Talk to him, missionary.
And rest.
Missionary.
It is God's unearned favor and the rest in trusting in him. It's knowing our identity and worth, you know, and resting in that, finding peace in that. Because with the grind, you can get burned out, you get tired, you get frustrated. All these things take a physical toll on you, a spiritual toll as well. But it's the grace of God that we're going to need. It's that rest and that peace in him that we're going to need to keep us balanced. So we're going to talk about the ambition and the importance of rest, the ambition and the importance of rest.
And I'll say something that's good, since just speaking up on grace, you gave a textbook definition of perfect. But just knowing it's something that you didn't earn. Like God is extending grace to you, not because you did something. It's not a checkpoint. I have achieved this. I have arrived to this point where I have prayed. I have fasted. I have spent time in the word of God. I have attended service. No, you're not doing anything to earn this grace. it's something that he's freely given. And so therefore you give pause to it and really understand, man, this ain't even something that I earned or something that I achieved on my own. This is something that's freely given.
Yeah.
And that's why we got to move carefully when we're grinding and understanding that grace, because sometimes you can step out of bounds. And then when you grind it without understanding the grace of God, that's how you walk into guilt and not just unpacking it. That's why Paul said, shall we continue in sin that God grace abound? God forbid, because he's telling us, don't take advantage of something that's been freely given. You know how you hook somebody up and then you take advantage. Your people
they expect it. They don't appreciate it no
your
more.
people work at McDonald's. You got the free meal. You want to come every day. Nah, don't come every day. Don't take advantage of a grace and the hookup you got simply because it's an opportunity. And that's what we have to do. And that's what we're going to be unpacking.
So y'all know, some of us may not, I can be quite dramatic from time to time.
Wow.
And I like mystical movies, magic and like, you know, things of the sort. So Merlin and, you know, all of those old King Arthur things. So when the movies open up, they always say, in a world full of mystery. And I wanted to open up like that, in a world where we glorify the hustle.
That's Trey mom right there. That is Trey mother.
I wanted to open up like that this morning, so I kind of got it out. But we live in a world that literally glorifies the hustle. Like we hear the saying, sleep is for the rich and da 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 da. Well, I come to the conclusion that I think I would prefer to talk to the team that surrounds the rich.
Yeah.
Is your team rich too?
Yeah.
Are they not sleeping? Because at some point we have to literally, physically take a break. And what I want to talk about this morning is God's design for it. As a teacher, we are trained to do something called the gradual release model. And in that, I show my students what my expectations for them is, how to do it, what it should look like. Then we practice together. Then they are expected to do on their own. This helps them with retention. This helps them to learn. This helps them to dissect it so that they can understand it. God has literally done the gradual release model for us.
Right.
He has shown us what it looks like to hustle.
Yeah.
To be grinding on my life, grinding on my life. He has shown us what that looks like.
That's where you at, huh?
In the beginning, it tells us when he created heavens and the earth, he worked for the full 6 days. And then on that 7th day, he was able to rest. Why did he do that? It's not because he be getting tired or he want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's not because people were getting on his nerves. I mean, like, come on, he's the creator of all things. He wanted to model for us what his expectations for us are.
True.
Now,
that's good.
We want to make sure that although we tell you some practical things, that is biblically based. So if you go to Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 and 3, it tells us in that scripture that by the 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. And this is the New Living Version. So that on the 7th day he rested. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. This is a powerful reminder for us that rest, it's not just a suggestion. It's something, again, that he modeled and called holy, because it's the expectation for us.
Okay.
If we didn't need rest, why do we get frustrated and then we go from 0 to 100 like that?
Yeah.
Why do we get burned out and we just quit or give up and like, forget it, I'm done with it, I'm over, it's over. Why do we do that if it's not that we need rest? Come on now. We have physical ways of our body telling us, hey, we need to take a break.
Yeah.
You have emotional ways of saying, hey, we need to take a break when your temper is short, when you are frustrated with people. And sometimes a person can walk in the room who you've been frustrated with. They don't have to say nothing to you. You see them, like, God, here you go again. Wow. Here she go again. Because you need a break. Yeah. Because people are pulling on you. People be asking you stuff. You like, there they go with that dumb stuff again. Yeah. You might just need a little time to rest.
Yeah. And the thing, like you said, he built that in to show us. It is the creator of all things. He's telling you how he stripped his day or his path or his life while he's working and grinding. he take the 7th day to take his time to take a pause. Like you said, he's modeling in front of us that it's okay to grind. I ain't got no problem with you getting stuff done, taking the time to realize what you've done is good. But in that, take those necessary breaks and rest to recover, because you got a journey and a purpose that you got to attend to. Yeah. And that's what we got to realize. If we're made in his image, not only in his image, we sleep on this part, we made in his likeness. So that means we got his ways. I mean, we ought to
just like your dad.
Come on now. So we ought to practice some of those principles that he displayed. So if he displayed it, then we ought to add that to our life. And sometimes we get beside ourselves. And I know I have been like that before, where you get in this grind mode, or you have something that you're trying to achieve or get done, and you'll be rushing.
Yeah.
And then come to find out, your body will tap out anyway. You can push as much as you want to. At some point,
in the car, falling asleep.
Yeah, or just at the point where you just irritable. Stuff that normally don't bother you, or you could just overlook. You mad at the interstate for being blocked, or you mad just all of a sudden.
Everything got you
Everything getting on your nerves. And see, when you at that point, sometimes it's good just to take that time out, and you'll notice when you have that recovery, you can come back just as strong. And you see it all over. You see it when the athletes, when they're working and they're doing what they're doing. That's why they have breaks. And sometimes you just got to call, man, hey, time out. Right in the middle of the game, like, hey, I know everything else going, man, I need a time out. Yeah. Just to go back, reset, to get back focused and do what I was doing already. But I just need to call a time out. And that's what we have to do in life sometimes. Sometimes you got to hit a time out. But Jesus' time out of rest was a designated stop. So we can talk about that, 2 different types.
Come on in.
There was emergency time out. But what he did, he set up a time out that was already pre-planned. And that's some of us that we're not guilty in. We busy doing stuff, but we have not pre-planned time to rest.
Okay. Yeah. This right here resonated with me because as we were talking, I didn't say anything to you right then in that moment, but it resonated with me because I thought about how we have often said, man, we're 40. And
who?
And I know we don't look at, yay, praise God. But we have hit this new stage in life, and sometimes it feels like you're still playing catch up because we're still grinding. Like we're out here hustling, trying to get things done, trying to do this, trying to do that. And as we were diving into the grind and the grace, it dawned on me that we never intentionally took time to rest. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we were forced to. Yeah. Like maybe, seriously, maybe your knee started hurting or your back started hurting. You got to go sit down somewhere. Right, yeah. Maybe you caught you a migraine, or maybe you got to go have a surgery because your body is being so worn down because you're constantly on the go. Then I thought about you. When we have a mission or goal or something that we say we're going to do, oh, baby. I know we've all heard the expression, oh, he worked like a Jamaican. And I don't mean to be.
Wow, son. Wow.
I'm just saying. Wow. I'm just saying. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not bad.
Just saying he's a man that works, right?
Get it right.
If you call people's name, what's wrong with you? But you go and do that. And you be gone. So, and I remember a time when you had 5-6 jobs.
Come on, man.
And I was like, this man works.
We're trying to eat.
And every time you need a break, it's difficult for you because when you are off from work, well, you have people pulling on you. You have church members that want time. You have a wife that wants time. You have children that need time. You have family that wants to spend time. So what do you do? Because we're only one person.
Right.
So there has to be a balance. Yeah. If there's not a balance, you're going to lack in one area or the other. Yeah. Because you can't give every part of your life 100% all of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is good because we get to dissect it and we're seeing ourselves in it and how we have been able to now find peace and now be intentional about trying to have some time or just taking sometimes we call it a lazy day, but it's taking a break from everything that pulls from you so that you can refresh, rejuvenate, revive, relax, so all the things is quite important. I think this is a blessing.
Something my daddy said that was good too. You got to find somewhere we say balance, but I wouldn't even say balance. I think you just gotta have some kind of discipline and to measure it what's needed at the time. And I say it like this because he was like, don't forget, whatever you grace to do, there is a supernatural grace that God allow you to walk into when you tap into purpose. So just say, for instance, I have, like you said, working and grinding. We'll have something that we need to do, but then I never allow it to affect home life. Don't let it affect ministry. Now, to a certain degree.
No, it does though.
To a certain degree, everything gonna affect some to the degree. But I'm saying it don't have me where I quit and stop. Just like, say, for instance, if I was to make the excuse here and now to be at work all night, but then to show up for here to make sure that I'm putting my all into it, well, I can make an excuse, man. I got 12 hours. I don't work no 8 hours. But if you do that, then you're making an excuse for something that you can actually walk into. But the reason why I can find a supernatural strength and energy for it, because I feel, because it's, but I'm saying it's you got the grace for it. Because somebody say this, somebody say a single person will be like, girl, I don't know how you do that. You married, you taking care of them kids, you left work, you dropped them off, you got the clothes, you can put this together. And what they saying is, I don't see how you could stretch time because my situation, I'm not doing half of that. The reason why they can't do it because they haven't been blessed to be a mom yet. See, when you become a mom, it's some kind of grace that'll say, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make sure that kid had this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sacrifice. But if you ain't got no kids, no sacrifice, no need to do that, so you never tapped into that grace. Yeah. But as soon as that happened, all of a sudden, then the second, third kid come, you still find how you made out. Yeah, you was there because it was grace for you to make that happen, but it took action on your part as well.
Just I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like, although you are individuals, they grind and they hustle and they working, even when it seems like the work isn't enough, God's grace is sufficient, and somehow you find the fortitude or the energy, the perseverance, the endurance to still show up when it's needed. But even in that, it's still very important to take a moment to enjoy his peace. Because if you don't, you crash out, which is what I wanted to go to, because I met a person who has a struggle. And in trying to identify where the struggle came from, this person was in school full time. Like, he wanted to be wealthy, you know? And I mean, I think for the most part, we can say a lot of us, we may not be attaining, you know, like Beyonce or Rihanna rich. I don't think we would mind, but I don't think that's necessarily our goal. But to live comfortably, to be able to do the things we want to do. So he's trying to do this or trying to do that. So he's in school and he's working a full-time job and he desires a relationship and he got all these things going on, and it becomes overwhelming for him. And when I say crash out, he crashed out. Like, he turned to things that made him feel like, okay, it's just going to take me away from my reality for a moment. You know, whether it was the drugs or drinking or whatever, it took him out of reality in that moment. And now it has become a habit for you. Now you can't turn away from it. You can't turn that thing off because it has become your crutch. When in Matthew, Jesus was telling them, all ye who are weary and burdened, come to me. And, you know, he's going to give you rest. But we never find our rest in him because we forget to turn to him.
That's it.
And we turn to other vices. Y'all check that third, what it's called? The lower thirds, you know, for the, you know, the number down there.
We put it in. But like you said, Matthew 11:28, that's what it said. It said, come to me, all that are laden. And then he goes on to extend that heavy laden. Because he letting you know it don't matter what you're carrying. I have a type of rest that you can rest in once you come to me. And that's very good, like you said.
I used to hear that. And I really thought that it was you finna transition from this world to the next. So it was like,
oh, you want the eternal rest.
Because
you want the eternal rest.
And stuff, so it kind of make you be like, I ain't ready for that right now. But I had to go and define what it means to be weary. Because, you know, it's in songs too that we sing. But it just means that you are physically and emotionally tired. Not tired, tired, child. I am tired. I want to fight. I want to give up. And then when I say fight, I don't mean I want to fight for my rights, or I want to fight for the right thing, and I want to fight for this job. No, I'm ready to knock somebody's head off.
All right, listen, go.
I'm tired. You know,
be going in.
That's what it means to be weary. It refers to people who just straight worn out.
Period.
Them the type of people you need to leave alone.
Look,
you don't mess with them.
Cause they be burnt
They'll
up.
bust your head to the white meat.
And then you not even thinking. And then it get to a certain point, it's literally almost considered the same standard would be to be legally drunk. Cause I done pulled somebody over that was just late. And same thing, I'd have been that way too. But it's literally just you sleep, but you're still showing the same signs as if somebody intoxicated because they sleep like your buddy.
Like I got pulled over the time.
Sleep catch you like that, you just be out there. What's wrong with you? I'm sleeping. And so the sleep got you swerving in lanes. It got you lowering your speed and your pace.
Lane, what it
and
was?
You doing improper use of a lane. And what's crazy is you displaying that, and that's what life is. Sometimes you could be running so much and extending your grace to the point that you're operating and you switching lanes and you out of your element and you go up and down, the pace and stuff changing, can't keep up. Is because you have not properly prepared for the journey, but you have a destination you're going, which this a blessing. That's why they put rest stops on the side of the road. We sleep on this. We sleep with, don't nobody stop it. I know it's like, hey, you danger. But the whole purpose of that was, watch this, and it's so amazing. We can preach this. It wasn't to take you away from your journey, but it was to give you a moment. Rest stops don't change my destination.
Yeah.
Rest stops don't mean that I gave up because I still got to get back out there. But it just give me a moment, stretch my legs. Now, I used to didn't even think these was important. Then I'm older, sometimes that nerve and that leg and
that leg go to sleep.
Hey, man, just stop. Let me get out, walk around. Just let me get some blood flow.
Yes.
Grab me something to drink or something like that. But what it is, in the moment of that rest, is refreshing. Now, my sister can preach this. She got anointed for rest.
Oh, my God.
Liz will tell you in a minute, just go lay down. Just lay down. We laying down for laying down. Like, that's us problem solved. But you asleep on it. I just got to this point now, like you said, coming in life and like, man, we getting older, maturing, getting better with time, when I'm telling you. But what I have learned, man, let me just take a rest. And even with working out, trying to do stuff in the job, I just been taking a day just to, pause.
Take a mental day if you need.
Shut your brain down for a minute. No, shut your body down for a minute, just to reset to see where you're at. And when you recalibrate, you can come out even stronger. It's been said this, and I throw this in there, we're working out, that taking the proper amount of rest, even taking an extended rest day, 3 to 4 days, normally I take a 1 day, but a 3 to 4 day rest, you can almost increase your max 3 to 5 pounds. You mean tell me, if I stop working out, if I stop putting forth effort and just take time to rest, I can do more to make up for the time that I just rest, which shows that if you can build that into your schedule, the more you're able to do. And I believe that same principle with life. If I can take time to take breaks and rest, then I can come back even better and I'll produce more. So while I was just producing at 85%, here it is, I'd have jumped to 95 because I took the time to rest.
You took time to rest, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to point out how God shows us in his word that he wants in a practical way for you to rest as well as in a spiritual way, right? So going back to the Matthew 11, when he says, all ye who are weary and burdened. Now, I just told you weary is when you just emotionally and just physically tired. Yeah. I'm worn completely out. Man, I can't take the wrong look right now because I'm just gonna blow up. I'm done, right?
I'm done.
But when you are burdened, that's when you are spiritually weighed down.
Yeah.
Now, being weary, that's a physical manifestation of you actually getting out there grinding and working. But to be burdened is to be spiritually weighed down. People constantly pulling on you. Yeah. People putting all their stuff on you, calling you 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3 in the morning.
Well, you know what too far.
They calling, oh, this is going on. Blah, 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 blah. So now you have to break your rest time, sleep time, whatever, to go and deal with them. Now they put that on you. So you're worried about them. You're praying for them. You're toiling for them. You're dreaming about stuff with them. Now you're not getting rest because you took on somebody else's burden. That's what happens to us when we are on this journey, when we're discipling people and we're evangelizing and we're sharing our story and people share with us. Then we open up. People want to connect with you. They feel like, okay, I can talk to this person. This person can help me. So now they've gotten to the place where they are comfortable just releasing. Oh, sister this, sister that. It's always something. Yeah. What I come to find out, and Pastor Olstein, dear Brother Joel, he confirmed this for me. I said, oh my God.
He bless you.
Oh my God. He says that when people constantly cast their cares and burdens on you, you take that on and you never get your rest, and you make them dependent on what you have to say. Right. Not what God is saying. Because if God has a word to give them through you, he'll give it to you whether they release their burdens to you or not. But we have to sometimes turn our phones off, stay off social media, maybe stay in the house. We're not outside today. Maybe stay in the house a little bit, or separate yourself. Yeah. Take you a little sabbatical, a little hiatus, whatever it is for you to find peace and to kind of pull away. Because when we pull away, when we're not available to them 24/7, then it causes them to go to God for themselves, to rely on God for themselves, to go to the word for themselves, to try to figure it out for themselves. And you can be there, to help along the journey. You know what I'm saying? You can still pray for them, but I don't have to physically be at your beck and call. That's not my ministry. Because once you decide that you want to be at someone's beck and call, because, I just feel like I'm called to, okay, then that's your business. You're going to be called to be at somebody's beck and call. But when you need it, who's going to be at your beck and call, right? Yeah. And it's not so much of tit for tat. I do for them, they do for me. I mean, that is relationship, but that's not the mindset I'm trying to cultivate here. The mindset I'm trying to cultivate is, when you're discipling someone, you're guiding them on their journey, teaching them, when I'm going through financially, these are some of the scriptures I look at. This is what I pray, and this is how God has blessed me. Maybe you should try it. Not I do it for you. Right. Because then you will keep and forever be doing it for them. And then when you don't, now you're on the back end of their anger or their disappointment or whatever. Now it's causing you to be burdened. It's causing you to be a little weary. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn that our ministry is not to be at someone's beck and call. Period. At all. At all. Our ministry is to help those who need help. Yeah. But in helping them, we're teaching them, hey, don't rely on me because I'm human. Right. I have all of the senses. Yeah. So I experience all of the emotions. So you might catch me on a day where it's hallelujah, praise the Lord, sister. Wow. Then you might catch me on a day, girl, if you don't leave me alone today, I can't right now. I need a moment. And then when you have those moments, because we do. Come on now. When you have those moments and people looking at you funny, oh, she the pastor's wife. Oh, that's the first lady. That's how you act. She's supposed to be a minister, and she acting like that. Baby, I'm human. Yeah. And I'm getting weary and all this well doing. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to do good. I'm trying, but y'all taking it all out of me. And I'm not being replenished. I'm heavy on the humanity. Come on. Because the thing is, you got to find that mode. And I say this all the time. Don't get somebody thinking that you the source. Man, I'm just a resource. I am not the source. I know I'm him, but I'm the little him. He the all caps I'm him. A part of him. So my job is to point you to him. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes God will put people on your path you can help. Mm-hmm. And watch this. I'm gonna free somebody. Somebody watching right now. Y'all tune in. Make us free. Right, I'm gonna free. You sometimes that comes with family. That comes with friends, associates, co-workers, those people around you. But I'm big on the family part. Because somebody, when she said burden, sometimes somebody put the family burden on you, or then the guilt trip on you, because you the leader of the family. Or, we depend on you. You the oldest, and you should be the one. Or you the only believer in the family, so you the one always got to be the one acting right. Or you the one always got to do that.
God ain't never meant for that. God ain't never meant for you to carry the whole load and for you to always be the bigger person as it relates to that. Sometimes the cutoff game, the pause game, or the distant game is important. Because if you're going to transition to this, if you're going to live and move like this, there got to be some distance. I remember when I transitioned into law enforcement, one of the things that I was told, like, listen, you got family members that's on the other side of law enforcement. So if you got family members that are felon and convicted felon, it's certain distance that I had to put between them. I can't be representing this and this part of the family representing this, and I'm thinking just because the blood is thicker than water that I can move. No, if I'm going to move in this area, I'm going to have to separate myself from this area. And that's the same principle in life. Sometimes separation is going to be necessary and distance is going to be necessary in order for me to grow and develop into the purpose and plan that God had destined for me. And you don't let nobody put no guilt on you. And I'm going to free some people on this too, because they'll let their kids. I talk to people that got grown kids. You still, you don't understand. I'm just trying to make sure
you don't know what it's like to be a parent.
Listen, yes, I do. Yes, I do. We got one in Japan right now, and I've been threatening them jokers. I got one in middle school now, still threatening. Because my thing is to lay the pattern, and part of it is with your parenting, you have not put no expectation on them, so therefore they have none to aspire to. So if you ain't put nothing there, it ain't no target. David said kids are like arrows in the hand of their fathers. And those of you that don't have fathers in their life, that mama, you're going to have to be the one to pull the arrow. You're going to have to step in. And what you do when you pull an arrow, you pour it, and it's that pressure and retention in there that you have to release so they can go. So what's required for a person to launch? Pressure, retention, resistance, and all of that is necessary, but also direction, because I got to point them where they got to go. That's my role. And then as a parent, if you get out your role, get out your element, you ain't doing it, you have failed those that's coming behind you. You ought to be leading and go. And then I said, take note. It's some people, you know, your predecessor failed you. Ain't nobody pointing me here. Man, when nobody talking about no money, nobody was talking about owning property and moving. I was told, this is what I was told, graduate, get a good job. At that time, we in Shreveport, Louisiana, Libby Glass and GM. Or if you can get on at the post office. That's what I was told. Well, little did I know they going to close Libby. GM going to shut down. That's what you done moved to Target. Like, so I don't have.
That was your source, you would have tapped out.
You done messed me up. Then I had, watch this, I remember at 17, because me and you did this together. We joined the military. I remember people telling us not to do it. This is how you know you grace and God will move and God will open up the door. You had people telling us not to do something that ain't never been a part of. That's why I make sure when you taking advice that you getting it from somebody that have actually
experience.
Not only experience, live, learn, and grow. And you can learn from other people's failures. Shout out to my son on this one. I told him, hey, man, make sure you plug in. Watch this person because the person is going through something that's close to him. I said, well, God bless you. Y'all so close in age and experience, you could just learn from their mistakes. Oh, it's a blessing to just ride and piggyback. I ain't gotta have that failure, but I could just ride with. I had a homeboy like that in Oklahoma. I just got a chance to experience what it's like to struggle, to have them little ones and stuff. That's what life is about. Yeah. Learn from somebody else.
Something you said was putting the expectations for your children so they know. But we also have to do that for people. And I would even go as far as to say is setting the expectation for yourself. Because when we talk about being weary and burdened, you could be one or the other. But most times, those of us who are on the walk, we tend to have both because you're trying to work your physical job and build for your family, this, that, and other. So you're getting physically drained. But then you're trying to do your part in your ministry. So you're also being spiritually drained as well. Yeah. So you're burned out from trying to do it all. Like, I can do it all. I hear people say I'm a jack of all trades, and they say it with pride. And that's okay if you are good at a lot of different things. But I ain't trying to do all the things all the time. What we do when we're striving for success, whether it be physically or spiritually, sometimes we carry guilt. Mm-hmm. So we do stuff because we feel guilty about it or whatever. We're trying to, and people know it. It's like they can sense it, and then they come.
They dive in.
They come they come in full force ahead. Mm-hmm. Other times we're seeking approval because you're wondering, well, I wonder what they think. Well, if I do this, will they do this right here? I have reached a stage in my life where I learned what my job is, whether it be my physical job or whatever I'm doing on my spiritual journey. I learned what my role is, and I do that, and I try to do it the best I can. Sometimes it can be in a little competitive way, whatever. I just want to be the best representation of me I can. But I don't do it for nobody's approval. Even on my job, I took my contract. I read through all of my contract to see what my role
your
is.
Contract hours. That was supposed to be.
I want to know what my role is, and I do what I am supposed to do. Anything extra, I might just be feeling, the spirit, or just in a nice mood that day. But I'm not seeking approval. When we seek approval, we change what we would have said, what we would have wore, what we would have done, where we would have gone, because we seeking man's approval. We want to be friends. Oh, I want to be their friend. I want to hang with them because I like their style, or I like the group of people they hang with, or whatever the case may be. We start changing up. We're getting off course because now I'm seeking approval from people. Now, maybe I have gotten a little deterred from my own personal mission because now I'm caught up in what you think about me, what you have to say about what I'm doing. And then we feel like no matter how hard we try, it ain't enough. It's not enough. So I keep trying something different. I was doing this and I'm giving it my all, and I'm working, and I'm getting up at 2 a.m. I'm living off 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep, yada, yada, yada. Dang, that ain't enough because I ain't seeing it fast enough. So now I'm jumping into something else. So we all have various reasons as to why we get burnt out, why we burden sometimes, and why we just weary. But we have to learn, let go of the guilt.
Man, let that go.
Let it go. Don't let people play you with it. Let go of trying to get man's approval. Because they'll say no.
And then sometimes
they won't like you.
You will have survivor guilt. Like you the only one in the family that did this, or you have made this, and then all of a sudden, because I just experienced that and paying right now because of it. You feel like, okay, can I give back, or can I do this, or you try to help, and I got overwhelmed with this. I think I just got to the point that I got delivered from this. Like, bro, I feel like this is what can help the family. Then I feel like you know me, so I'm not, you don't have to guess in where I'm coming from. You know my heart, you know my intention, and then I can see what's coming. But I just got to the point that I got to release it on peace about it. Some people you're going to have to get the recession. You're going to have to fail. You're going to have to realize Medicaid and all this stuff going on. And that's why I told you, I thank God for who we got in office right now, because it's gonna make me valid of what I've been saying. When I say that sacrifice and cut back, you might want to talk to family members, you might want to do this. And what it is, I told God, it's hard when he grace you or he bless you with something to be a seer. Because you'll see something and hey, I'm telling you, we gotta, and then you trying to help
for people to catch up.
So you gonna have to get your head bust. I remember we were saying that one time with somebody kid, like, they ain't trying to listen. Hey, your kid bad. Hey, no, they struggling. They on the bubble. It look like they on the opposite set. You need, nah, they just like the dress. Okay, I'm telling you what we see, and everybody else ain't tripping. And so what you have to do, sometimes you got that fallback game. You got to get in place like, hey, okay, boom, this is the expectation, this is what we're trying to do. And not only that with family, but even that with working. I had to get to the point, it might ain't necessary for me to get a promotion. I'm the leader already. Everywhere I've been qualified to be a leader. But somehow I keep bumping my head and fighting nonsense, and then being around people that I know ain't capable. I'm helping them lead. And I'm saying to myself, why? And I understand now, because like you said, setting the expectation, maybe that would be the distraction for me. That if I get focused on leading for them, I won't focus on leading on what he never meant for me to stay here. But if I stay locked in and I'm trying to promote and I'm putting in this, I get so caught up in consuming that we never would have started our entrepreneurial journey, because we're on track to retire. I'm on track to be successful here. So why would I challenge? It's the buffer, or it's the burden of the job that forces me to look elsewhere. That forces me to look for opportunities. So when they start talking about cutting federal workers, I look like, cut me. Cut me. If you're going to pay me for 2 years, cut your boy. I'm ready. Because the mindset is understanding what I've been graced to do and not worrying about and let guilt carry me and bury me into something that's not beneficial for me. Yeah, free yourself today, y'all. Yeah, free yourself.
So, before we get ready and close out this week,
I'm getting ready to close.
We've talked about what the hustle is. You know, we've talked about God's unearned favor. But what does it mean to rest?
Yeah.
And I kid you not, when we start talking about spiritual rest, a whole funeral play in my head.
Lord have mercy.
I cannot be the only one. I'm sure I'm not.
You on some eternal rest?
Because we're not there yet. We're not ready. But I'm just saying, like growing up in church and hearing that
the word itself,
but without actually dissecting what came before it and what comes after it and what's meant by what he's saying in that moment. You know, I have learned that we oftentimes hear people preach the word, and sometimes that it's a message that they want to relay, and they find a word to help them relay that message. But what God was saying or what Jesus was saying when he was speaking, it may not be exactly what the person who's relaying a message may be saying.
True.
So I've learned to go to the word for myself, and I start asking questions. So, okay, if we're talking about Matthew 11, what does chapter 10 say? Okay, and then what happened in chapter 9? This is how you end up started reading in the Bible, because then you have to start learning for yourself. Then what did chapter 12 say? And what was going on to make Jesus say that? These are questions I asked. What was happening in chapter 10 for Jesus to say this in chapter 11 so that I can understand, right? So when we are talking about rest, I can tell you now, it ain't, okay, I'm about to transition to another life, even though we address it all. But what we're talking about is when we're taking a day of rest, it's not about, okay, I'm going to call in today because I'm just tired and I'm just going to take me a nap. Well, that's rejuvenating your body. It's needed, but that's not necessarily the rest. It's a little deeper than that. It's that soul level peace, right? Because in that, my mind, think about this. You get tired, you take a day off work, and you're going to have a lazy day. You're going to do nothing but watch TV and go to sleep. While you sleep, you tossing and turning because you're still not resting. If you're tossing and turning, you're not resting. Even when you're in a deep sleep, sometimes your mind can still be going. And then you wake up and you still don't feel rested because you haven't found that soul level peace. I feel like I should have an afro right now. That soul level peace.
Feel like
you
a soul sister.
Come on now.
A soul sister.
Soul level peace is where, you know what, God? I'm going to take a moment and pull away from everything because I just need some clarity, some serenity, and I just want to rest in your peace. I want to rest in knowing, hey, you know what? Everything that's going on at work, I'm not worried about a thing because I trust you. You are the source of my strength and everything. So all of that, I'm just going to give it to you. Have you a moment where you say your prayer and you allow him to minister to you. And then you have that peace in your mind and in your spirit where I ain't worried about nothing.
I ain't worried about nothing.
Come on. Ain't nothing stressing me out. I'm not going from 0 to 100. I'm not a ticking bomb ready to, explode. I can smile and I'm not frantic. And that feeling you get when it's you rushing, your mind rushing, and you like, ooh, and I'm forgetting this and forgetting that because you're constantly in a rush. Baby, when you find peace in him and you actually take the time to rest so that you can get that peace. Come on now. Nothing. It's like you just, okay. All right. Well, everybody calm down. You can think clearly.
They show they got all them memes and stuff on social media where the whole world burning down. That person just chilling. And they be like, I'm on this 2025. I ain't letting nothing bother me.
That's somebody found some peace.
But you see that where somebody say, well, they mind and they own business. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes time it out. Like, man, I'm not finna stress over there because certain things you can't do nothing about anyway. I have really found peace in letting my hands off stuff that I can't do nothing about it anyway. Even if you stay up anyway, you can fix it. You can't change it. You can't fix that situation. So if that's the case, then I gotta let it go. Somebody say all the time, like, bro, how you like this? You act like it don't bother you. It'll bother me for a minute, but when I get that moment of clarity, be like, Man, it ain't up to me. I don't have to change that. That's not me for me to fix, you know. Especially don't let me pray about it. Because I pray about it. I'm really done with hey man.
I'm over it.
Yeah, I didn't get turn it over to the Lord. He worked it out. Hey, when he working it out, man, I give you the guard, man. I did. If I ever hear somebody with something like this, if I ever say, "May the Lord watch," oh, we done. Oh, we done. That's him. Between me and thee, why we absent one from another? Because we absent from now on, one from another. The Lord got this, yeah. And it took a while to get there because I felt like I had to be the one. I apologize. Now you trying to run up. Nah, listen. I tell you right now, if I say I'm sorry about something and you're still dealing with it, guess what? You're still dealing with it. Because I'm not. You still dealing with it. But I said I'm sorry. I didn't move on. Yeah. Help me. Help me help you.
Y'all, when you can find that kind of rest,
yeah,
it's a rest that comes from you to find that kind of rest and enjoy that type of peace where your mind and your body and your spirit can just be at peace and rest. That comes from trusting in your creator.
Right.
Instead of trying to control things ourselves. No. See, that be the problem. We be trying to control everything. We want our hands in everything. We trying to guide things and turn things and move things and shift things because we're trusting in our ability and what we can do. When, like you said, turn it over to the Lord and he'll work it out.
I'm talking about resting.
Come on.
I'm talking about a Benadryl and 2 melatonin rests.
Oh my God.
I'm talking about I do not recall how I am gone.
Oh my God. When you turn it over to him.
Done.
Take on his yoke. What it say? His yoke is easy.
And burden light.
His burden is light. When we take on his yoke, I got a lash in my eye.
Yeah.
And when you take on his yoke, it's his way of life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in his way of life, he has taught us pull back a little bit, take a moment and rest, reset. Yeah. You know, revive yourself. Yeah. Find peace in me. You know, he's modeling for us what the expectation is. Yeah. And if we just take his way of life or his yoke, then I mean we'll find peace.
But
we won't be so stressed out and buried and worried. And you know it's happening. Migraines. Yeah. We're gaining weight. We having acne again. Our hair falling out. Yeah. Like, come on.
But you do that. Jesus be feeding the 4,000 because we always talk about the 5,000. He'll be feeding the 4,000. He dealt with the disciples, and then they'll just say he'll leave. Man, you'll leave in the middle of it. Now he just got through healing. He set free. He casting out demons. Now notice he didn't do everybody that was there.
I can't touch y'all.
Just in the middle of it, he'll just leave. It ain't even finished. You can touch everybody. Man, he'll go somewhere and rest. He'll go somewhere and pray.
Now, hold up. Yeah. Why he left?
Yeah, he'll go somewhere and rest.
He stopped ministering to the people.
He'll stop ministering. You'll see he'll pull back from the people he close to. He'll tell the disciples, y'all go to the other side. Y'all go in the ship. Then he'll go somewhere. He'll walk across the water. Why? When he could have rode ship, he studied putting distance at certain points. And then notice, and I say this because I know we getting ready to wrap up, he only led certain people in certain places. He had the 12, but then when he go on the mountaintop to pray, he only took the 3. And then he took the 3 to a certain level, but he went even farther by himself, which going again, he's modeling the way we should move and live. That it's a crowd you could be around, 4,000, 5,000. But then it's a group that is your people. That's the 12. But then you have those that, hey, those my ninjas right there. Hey.
Oh my God.
Those are my ride or die. You know how I know? Because even when he came back with the rest, that's who he came for. Hey, go get Peter them. I want my dollars. But even at that point, it's a certain level that they got to get. Because certain times you got to balance yourself from that and remove yourself even from those that's your inner core. Now, everybody won't get there. If Jesus only had 3, then, you know, you're blessed to have 1 or 2 in your lifetime, to have somebody that can walk that closely with you. Yeah. They can see you, why you grieving, why you battling, why you going through and still trust them. So, yeah.
That's good. Something that I do want to leave you with today is the importance of the physical and spiritual rest. And how God shows us in his word that it's important. So I've given you 2 different books that you can go to to remind you of that. Number one, for the physical rest, we have limits, y'all. We are not machines. We shouldn't claim to be. We shouldn't even try to be, honestly.
Yeah.
But this is when we go back to Genesis chapter 2, and we see how God did a physical work.
Okay.
You know, he created this. That's a verb. It's something that you do. It's an action. It's a physical action. That's what he did. He created, he made, and da 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 da.
Yeah.
But he rested. That's so that physically we can learn from him. We can do after he has done, because he is model for us. Okay, I've done everything I need to do for the week. Now I just need to, this is where I would say the relaxing part comes in. For me, you can hit me with a spa all the time, every week, every month,
all day,
however you want to do it. Send me to a spa and I'm good to go. I will turn the phone off and I will rest and relax up in there, right? But then on the spiritual side of it, laying down the anxiety.
Yeah, spiritual.
Y'all, I have never in my life heard children talk about my anxiety. My anxiety. What that is.
Yeah.
They are learning by example.
Right.
They're seeing and hearing what their moms and dads and aunties and uncles and grandparents are saying. They're looking at what the world is doing and saying. But when a child starts talking about anxiety, that's something close knit, right?
Yeah.
Or you have gone to the doctor's office and you heard, because maybe somebody, trying to get a diagnosis. I don't know. But whatever the case is, for a child, and I'm not talking about like a 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grader. Those you have grown, but I'm talking about these 2nd and 3rd grade level children talking about my anxiety, and then they destroying rooms and stuff because come on now, that lets me know that there is a spiritual battle here that needs to be dealt with. There's a spirit that this child is struggling with that I need to deal with, whether it be generational curse or whether it be the spirit of the BELT needs to come out. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, there's a spirit that needs to be dealt with, right?
Yeah.
That anxiety, the fear, striving to please, that people pleasing thing, all of that weighs on us spiritually. That's when we get burdened down. That's when we what was the scripture? Matthew 11:28. Go back and read it. Understand it for yourself.
Yeah.
That is the spiritual part where we are weighed down. And anxiety and fear, the approval of others, all of that, guilt, all of those things weigh on us spiritually.
Yeah.
When we are weighed and burdened down, we cannot disciple.
True.
Because then you're teaching others who you've said, oh, girl, come to Jesus. He good, honey. Yeah. He gonna wrap you in his arms. He gonna comfort you. And he gonna do this for you.
What he do?
Look, come on now. You know we go in.
What he do?
You know we go in. He'll hold you in the middle of the night. He'll rock you, keep you rocking. You already know.
Let it out.
Come on now. But I'm being a little comical, but y'all know we talk like that. You know we go in. But if I am struggling with fear and guilt and approval from others and anxiety, how can I disciple? Because remember, when you're discipling, you're guiding a brother and sister on their spiritual journey.
Right.
You're teaching them to operate in fear and anxiety, seeking approval of others, to operate and work through and in and of guilt itself. That's not the type of disciples we supposed to be making.
Yeah.
That's not an example I've seen in the Bible. Yeah. That wanted me to see what my Bible told me was God's not giving us the spirit of fear, but you operating in fear and you're teaching me to do the same. True. That's I guess you could say a spiritual generational curse. Yeah. Let's cut it and nip it in the bud. I'm not doing that. When you see it, you actually need to address it. Hey, sister, I see you operating in fear. I don't know what's going on, but let's pray, girl. Let's pray, honey. Yeah. Because we can't be like that. We got to be G's for Christ. However you talk to your sister, you know what I'm saying? But what we're not going to do is be burdened and weighed down with these spirits. And we say that it's okay. We just be like, oh, child, it's just, we come up with all these diagnoses and stuff. I don't want to go there, but I be tripping about these diagnoses because I work with these little children and it is beyond me what these kids say. And I know it's because you've heard an adult say it, or you listen to adult conversations, or you being told these things. Let's cut it. Because these spirits, they go from one generation to the next, from one person to the next, and it becomes a cycle. It never gets broken. And then you wonder why. I wonder why he acting like that. I wonder why she doing it. Because there's a cycle that hasn't been broken. There's a spirit that hasn't been dealt with. They burden and don't realize it. They just basking in it. No, not in this season. When you see it, say it. Now, I'm not saying embarrass somebody and call somebody out in front of people, but you have to be spiritually bold enough. And this is something I had to learn how to do. You have to be spiritually bold enough to be like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Pull them to the side. Put that little bug in their ear. Let us pray. Even if it's by text message. Hey, send a prayer. But address it, because sometimes they may not even realize. And in them not realize, or in you bringing it to their attention, now they start to notice patterns. Now they can go and work on it themselves, not depend on you to do it. Because if they depend on you, they're going to weigh you down even more. And then you're going to fail to get the rest that you need, both physically and spiritually. And that cycle repeats itself. So it's very important that we come to him. Cast all of our cares and burdens on him. Let him do it. Let him take care of it. Let him fix it. We have to show him that we trust him enough to, Lord, I'm just finna rest in you. I just need to find that inner peace. And that don't mean I'm finna go lay down and sleep all day, but I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna say my little prayer, and I'm gonna let you speak to me. I'm giving you everything that's worrying me, that's stressing me out, that got me scared, that got me fearful, that got me whatever. I'm giving it all to you because I trust you to handle it. I trust that while I'm resting, you're going to work it out. You're going to fix it. Or in my rest, you'll tell me, hey, when you come off of this little sabbatical, when you get off this rest, do this, 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 and this. And then once you do it, boom, done, over. Tell me that ain't some peace. Because when I'm frantic and I'm like, my mind is just, whoa. When I pull away from it, it's like you almost have like an out-of-body experience. You can see. It's like you come outside of yourself to see what's happening. And then he can download in your spirit next steps so that the problem can be fixed and resolved. So I have a challenge for us for this week. Our goal is to identify one thing you can say no to. No, I'm not going to answer the phone. No, I'm not going to go social media. You can call it a fast, whatever.
Say no.
But in saying no, you're creating space for rest. And then your challenge for this week. And then I want y'all to tune in. Go in the chat if you want to share what your challenge for the week is. And we can hold each other accountable. But your challenge for the week is going to be to spend 1 hour in complete rest. No phone, no work, no distractions. Now, I ain't say a day because I know we're taking baby steps because we got to make money. We got to eat all the things. It's not about the making money, eating, and taking care of things. It's about finding peace in him so that he can download what needs to be downloaded in your spirit and you're just not so busy. So again, 1 hour complete rest. Yes, that's my challenge for the week.
Good.
We want to say thank you for tuning in. We're out of time, but definitely not out of message. The Grind and the Grace is a month-long series that we're going to be talking about. This week, we wanted to dissect what it is to grind and what grace actually means, what it looks like. We're going to have some weekly challenges. We want you guys to tune in, to drop in the chat, send us some messages, and we are going to work through this together so that we can have that balance. It's good to have ambition, but we want to have the ambition and the balance so that we can live the God kind of life. If you haven't liked the video and shared the video, please go and like the video and share the video. Help us to get this word out because there's some people out there that is tired, y'all. They tired and they need to hear this so they can go and take them a rest and not feel guilty about it. Before we go,
make sure you tune in. Thank you for supporting. Make sure you like, support, share, tag somebody. Also, those that support, we want to say thank you. You see it in the chat. We couldn't do what we do without you, so we want to say thank you for supporting us and helping us. You can do so by way of Cash App. That's ICANN365, which stands for Impact Community Action Network, 365 days of the year. I want to say thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. Grace and peace.